Hmm. I wonder if anybody chatted with me on Twitch. Yeah, I went to go live and everything, and I when we get a place where there's more silence. I was reading some poetry by Robert Frost, and he was talking about Pan coming out of the woods. So I said, "Go live, huh? Go live." So YouTube had this thing, and it was a 4 hour stream also. It was a 4 hour stream. Let me check my own stream history. Oop, looks like I have another Firefox update. It did that flash thing. Oh, yeah, Firefox following your updates. I wonder if it will start since they don't want to support Windows 10. I wonder if it's gonna get buggy. Probably will. Twitch. There's Twitch. Update 150. Oh my goodness, Dave. So earlier I was earlier with one of the people who the homeless who are like karma police. If you're not nice to the homeless people and stuff, they have other people who will punish you. That is a 4 hour stream, huh? Oh, 4 hour stream, yeah. Yeah, it shows my last stream 4 hours, so I apparently did not update the settings, and I was on Twitch the entire time. Wait, no, I did say uh, be talking about. I'm just exhausted. I am just so exhausted. I think I did know I was on Twitch. Let me check out this thing here. Yep. Stream summary. Here you go. Does it have archive chats? Max viewers, unique chatters, minus one from last stream. Live views. Oh, I got, I got 5 live views. What's a unique viewer? Oh, okay. So one of the viewers was from the same IP. It doesn't say. All right. Very interesting. Yeah, I mean, one of the things I need to remember to do is look at my stream keys and then compare them to my archived videos and see if the video goes away when I delete the stream key. Otherwise, that stream key might have like these portals open. I don't think the computer's evil. I think it just reveals. I think it's just so interested. Like, are we the same with our computers as we are when we engage with people? have this little voice. It's a little voice, a little whisper. Keep it up. Keep it up. Who is that? Is that? Hey, Julia, because Mr. Arthur, is that Nick? Is that well? Anyway, I understand that the Declaration of Independence. One of the things I think they actually put it in the amendments, like forcing people to house soldiers. Oh my goodness, isn't that nice? Like the occupying army puts a soldier in your house to watch you. But we haven't been invaded. We invade people. The news would say if we were invaded, right? Or we like those freaking Iraqis, the people in Gaza. If you go orchards, go all orchards, you buy a nice berries, nice weather. All of a sudden you shit full of with all these freaking these like veterans, with all these people from Germany storming your beach. This is ours now. I had to step away to do something and listening to the radio. My goodness, how magic that is. My dad told me a story. I've been talking to this guy. Turns out we have this stuff in common. It's really, really cool. He had a carpet cleaning business. Carpet cleaning and installation. My dad didn't install carpets, but he cleaned carpets and cleaned furniture. And I think they might have had their businesses going about the same time. Well, my dad, he was telling me because he didn't want to take out loans and get the fancy franchise vehicle or that kind of stuff. He had a very humble pickup that he would load carpet cleaning equipment into and be off to clean carpets. Older equipment, older vehicle, but it worked. It worked really good. So working man's truck. So because he didn't have loans out, he could do carpet cleaning for less than somebody who had a business loan. And so he got a phone call one day because he had real low prices. He sent out a flyer, and this other carpet cleaner got his flyer. He called him up and he was enraged. How did you care what the prices? He started just going off that he was charging too little. I guess when you go to the training event, you're like, this is how much the industry average is. You do all these numbers and stuff, and all of a sudden there's this dude just like half the price. So he related that story to me about being threatened by another carpet cleaner. He also has another story about how he might, it's like when you try to please people. So there's on the news, there was this, well, there was another carpet cleaner, and he was on national news because he built $1 million a year carpet cleaning business in a year. This guy started his business in a year. He was a millionaire, and my dad was just well, his mother would point out this other carpet cleaner, the successful one, the millionaire carpet cleaner. She was like, why can't you be more like and so she would just compare this millionaire carpet cleaner to my dad. Is like that he's just lazy, he wasn't ambitious, did this wrong, did that wrong. Well, like a few months later, the news broke the guy was arrested because his carpet cleaning business was covered for like drug laundering, drug money laundering. And my dad made a point to be like, that's not the way you do business, like his mom, right? Because he was like, well, then years later, my cousin Heather was talking about my dad and his like tax problems with stemming from the carpet cleaning business. That's just California. Restaurants, all these little businesses, just the one product they have that, like the window shade and blind company, it was for sale, $40,000, and I could have like a little storefront, and I could sell window blinds, drapes and stuff, curtains. I don't have any. I was planning on it when I first got out here about coming on 2.5 years. Oh, more. Oh, I've officially made it more than 2.5 years out here. So 2.5 years, over 2.5 years, And when I moved in, I said, well, it's so decorative. And I had so many plans, like the living area, TV. Well, I have a TV. I have several TVs. I have even a satellite, and I ordered a satellite converter with all these codes. It's a mess. See what global television people are watching. My uncle had instructions how to build a big satellite dish. In the 1980s, that was kind of a rage before cable. They started laying the cable lines. People were getting big, like 6 foot dishes, and you could hit it and like gotta know where the satellite is. But there are always things that go on. People were having their own satellite television systems. Wouldn't it be horrible to decriminalize because there are too many drugs to test? There's too much sorcery. Somebody was we have been doing Bible study and somebody pointed out that sorcery, the proper translation, were like farm druggists, and so like drugging people. Well, people drug themselves. They're very angry. I don't know who's more angry, the people who can't get their medicine, and so they have to think about like how they got fired, they fired them, and cut their contracts, and all these types of things. No, I'm this guy who won't go back to work. It's too hard. It's too hard. You see, it's when a person gets attacked multiple times and beaten in the street. Oh, I want to go back to work where it's safe. No, those are the guys who won't go back to work where it's safe. It's like your coworkers are wandering the streets looking to find us and punish us for not doing their jobs. The exodus, the exodus out of my work zone. Well, as soon as people heard they left. Now I don't know if all of us get the same news. So heard what? Well, all the fun stuff was gonna go away. All the fun stuff. The movie theaters would be shut down. The video game parlors, the pool halls, the massage tables, the Burger Kings, the coffee shops. All these things that turned our workplace, our bases into like little mini cities. They'd be going back to the basics. The tent, dry instant coffee, these old like MRE meals. You haven't seen an MRE meal. Well, storage, long-term food supplies. Yeah, when it got no fun, when it would be all work. And, well, the more work there was, the fewer employees we seemed to have. No, they had on YouTube like in my algorithms. I try to watch the government services that broadcast on YouTube. These house these house committees on this or that, and they're getting empty. Well, it's like watching these actors. I think the most powerful network we have in the United States is NBC, National Broadcasting Corporation. CBS, Columbia Broadcasting Services, or systems, these acronyms, and American Broadcast Corporation. Well, First time I saw cocaine, I was peeping on my neighbors. Like that little boy in the attic, and I looked down, and the neighbors who had a very small, humble little cottage house. And I looked, and there's some like this line on the table. And it first came out, and then looked up, and like our eyes locked. And I was like, oh shit. First time I ever saw cocaine. Must have been about 12 years old or so. I'm assuming I didn't test it. Like my brother's friend, they had this movie, they're snorting white powder. He's, well, that's just that's not a flower, it's just for the movie set. You're not allowed to do the real thing on there or something. Well, so who's angrier? The person who wants product and can't buy it, or the person who is making a living selling it as their family members who are working got poorer and poorer and poorer, victims of more street crime. See, a lot of street crime is done by drug addicts trying to get money to buy drugs. What story do you like? One of the primary reasons is because my middle brother, apparently he went pretty far off the deep end. Hopelessness, anxiety. No, you got pinned for everything. And now there's a new one running around with his ID card. Apparently he's very powerful, very rich, very successful. See, the way you get things, I guess, is just, well, once you go back to Animal Kingdom, you just take it. I was walking down one day, yeah, I had some thoughts in my head, and go sit at the coffee shop, and do work, do like study and stuff, but also like keep an eye out for some sweet honeys. Oh yeah, I'm a shy person, so I practice making eye contact and stuff. You do these things, you get over issues. Or I did that, and now I have, well, how many times? This one guy told me he's been married once, and had a fiance, which in virgin incel kingdom is quite amazing. We've evolved to something else here. Like these 20-year-old men in their 20s, they've been taking lessons at school. Apparently, they've been taking lessons from the school of fatherless hard knocks. So it's funny because I was at this place. So is he psychic? The coffee shop I was at, they have like crocheted like these like really like good quality socks and unique socks and stuff. They look almost handmade. Or he what did he say? Oh yeah, he texted me. He has no quote socks to wear. Quote, I have this show. Yeah, he has no socks to wear as I'm sitting there. It was just a whole thing that he's like this. It's what it is. It's the entire trafficking distribution network of every product. Things aren't selling. Day 75 of the government shutdown. Somebody was getting a disability for their daughter who doesn't feel. There's a term. There's a disease like that. Is it a disease or is it an advantage? Well, anyway, that's pretty. A person who cut themselves and wouldn't even know that they're leaving a trail of blood everywhere. that is a medical condition. It's a noted medical condition. Well, if you don't have a job, you get benefits. Who provides jobs? What do we need? What do we need? Oh my goodness, they probably want meat. There's two animal safari parks up north of me, and all I can think of is that Netflix show Lion King with the Carol Baskins and whatever Lion King's name is. Well, a way to get turned. Way to it's building your own business. People love zoos. So go to Animal Safari Park. I don't know how much money it costs a day to feed those animals. The people haven't been paid. People can't pay their rent. They're going to go to the Animal Safari Park. What's going on? Oh yeah, it's just the unreality of Penthouse. And see, NBC, you have helicopter pads on top of buildings. Have you ever commuted by helicopter? No, and one of the problems the helicopter commuters might be having is that guys like me, and I'm not a mechanic. I went a different route. I know mechanics. We're trained. I do electronics. They do mechanical work. And there's a whole group of people who are called incels, losers. They have all these problems. They didn't start out that way. Like, oh, I'm gonna make a career out here. And then one day, it's like no promotions, inflation eats your check, your job just keeps getting more and more until we're just slave robots. That's how Penthouse looks at us apparently. But those who were like looked in a penthouse, I don't know. Shopper's paradise. See, people who can do will and do fend for themselves. I know survivalists, like people who can go off in the woods, make little lodgings. I ran into one of those guys. He's kind of looking at me and like he's gone nuts. So he definitely went nuts. So he was like, well, there's so many guys who'd rather be the devil than the savior. There's a movie that probably people in the same area might have seen. Lord of Illusions. Scott Bakula. I don't know the other actors in it. Wouldn't that be fun to be with like friends you used to see movies with, you talk about movies? Oh, but we're in crisis. We're in crisis, aren't we, movie boys? I would have loved to go on dates. I just don't know how. I'll be honest. I've been conditioned to have PTSD from rejection. Rejection hurts, right? As soon as they start getting that, now I have real PTSD from even talking to one. I remember how stupid I felt. I like just like I got this girl over for a study date. Well, study session. We are gonna study for a test. I had a bottle of wine. It's like, oh my goodness, like an old romantic setting. Like you. You have ulterior motives. No, I don't. No, I don't. Well, that was a good call. Oh, I would be worse. If I got any type, like I told my first girlfriend who was on AOL, like I talked to a girl for what, how long did we talk? Months? A year? We talked for a long time. And we even sent cards, letters back and forth. I got letters says, "Are we boyfriend girlfriend?" And like I'm phone, like we're boyfriend and girlfriend now. And that summer I flew out to was it the summer? No, it was a spring break. So I had to choose between going back home seeing my girl pop and my brothers or going out to there. So I didn't tell anybody I was flying out to Dallas. I wanted to meet my AOL girlfriend, but I was too embarrassed to say I had an AOL girlfriend. And I thought we had a really good time, and I came back, and I'm so happy that I actually meet her in real life, and it's like and her son and her brother was kind of weird, met the family, and then like a week later, it's just the phone calls were well, she said she's breaking up with me, like a week later, maybe 2 weeks, and she's breaking up. She's pregnant with another guy. She has a boyfriend out there, and I didn't know she had two boyfriends. Like I didn't know, but it makes sense. My reaction at 22 was I 22 years old? Anyway, it was about that same summer driving around my dad. And he's like, it's okay to be attracted to like boys. And I'm like, what? I didn't say it like it. This is really uncomfortable. Well, apparently even back then, because I don't have a girlfriend, is like he's gay. He's gay. He never goes on dates. He doesn't go on dates. He doesn't talk to girls. He's obviously gay. In this case, it was even worse. It's just like, so where I could like be attracted to. No, nothing about boys. And I was like, that's probably what my entire family when I was 22 years old is. Yeah, Kevin likes the young boys. He just likes young boys. Where did that come from? Do girls get like phone calls? There was a time when I was like in that desirable. He has a job. He has savings. And then it's like getting creeped out. The phone calls. Apparently, it's not just my dad telling people that I like boys. It's other people. Because he told my dad I liked boys. Oh, we asked him, you don't like the kids? I don't have any kids. My dad doesn't have any other kids other than me and my brothers. Until somebody comes forward and makes some other allegations, which they do, but they just don't do. They just don't ask. Maybe we're just too honest. Well, when the fear isn't there, there was in Greece because that was the thing that's been speculated about a lot of the Greeks, well, the Greek city states. And I have a book that says Greek is an old slur word for homosexuals. That other day English and other people would put, oh, that's a homosexual city. So they had that kind of problem with well, Athens made up a death penalty that it was so common for some of these teachers because they had a version of public schools that they would send their kids to, and if a teacher kept the boy, I'm pretty sure it was I don't know. Well, anyway, keeping children after dark, like that gets you the death sentence. So apparently they had that type of problem. So who's writing which teachers are writing the history? There's a movement that I read in E. Michael Jones' Libido Dominante about how sexual liberation is a form of social control. Like, but there is no control over sexual liberation. Oh yeah, there is. No, I read the book and I didn't really comprehend the book. Certain of it made a lot of sense. they had a really telling part about the early Russian Revolution. You see, the Russian Orthodox Church was well, that I mean, was the czar that technically head of that church, or they have like a patriarch czar relationship where you have the king and then you have the religious authority to help like guide the people, and well, the people start noticing the king is doing stuff. So there's that conflict. Huh. So, oh yeah, I'm not going to talk about the Russian Revolution right now. But I already started. And this comes from Michael Jones' book. So a lot of academics who are part of that type of anarchist, see the line connecting and separating communists and anarchists, anarcho-communists, share in the destruction. All I can think of is share in the destruction. And once you destroy all the monetary systems and everything, then people will have to come together in a communal sense of cooperation. Although I don't think they actually want to come together in a communal sense of cooperation. They just want to continue having fun breaking stuff. So in the 1917, I don't know that did the revolution already start? Yeah, Russia tapped out of the war really, didn't it? World War One. That's just the way a description of things. So Russia, well, at the same time, because word got out of the new society that they're creating, um, a lot of academics went out there. There's a list of them. Like one that stands out the most that I can remember is McKay. So I mean, that was allegedly apparently homosexual, wrote about homosexual rock and stuff, and something like that. Because no more the church was being overthrown. Remember, the official was atheism or without a religion, or maybe they just had no official because the churches seemed to be around. They just had forced people to go there. I don't know. I don't know. I wasn't there. So a lot of people went out there where they could practice and teach people about sexual liberation. So about by 1924, 25, with the death or passing of Stalin, I mean passing of Lenin, who was this academic person from Germany that went there first. Well, that helped him, I suppose. So he went to Germany. He was the head of. I mean, he was anyway, Lenin. So things were getting bad. So the revolution, all the peasant stuff were going to be rich or whatever promise for the people in the villages, talking about this new economic system, the new order, it really spiced things up. Like the serfs loved being able to practice free love, apparently, from this description of things. And what's caused, because it was still so rural, that there's so many farmers and agriculturalists, they were like, people would stop working. They would stop working because the other dudes and what people would be having, you can just have it. So it caused tensions as the serfs were sexually liberated, and that way they didn't need to spend any time. Well, some of them would, but the more time you spend in the field, the more sexual you miss out on in the orgy room. So, and that similar thing happened with hippie free love movements. That there would be that it would fall apart because they'd find like the one dude who was like, oh, we're gonna be, and he'd find himself just working while the love guru had all the women. So those guys would walk off and leave the commune, and then they're like, who's gonna do all the manual labor? Like irrigating fields. That's kind of water theft, isn't it? I was listening to NPR, National Public Radio, and they were talking about this a river thing where the fish well, one, they have invasive bass. There's an invasive bass problem in the river. It is a trout river, and so then the fish belong to the people, right? The public river stuff belongs to the public, the fish, and but you still have to pay for fishing license to go get the fish that already belongs to you, apparently, according to this logic. And like some people say, it's stealing fish, right? If you don't pay for a license, then you're basically stealing fish from the public. This is like an Indian. There's so much things about new people showing up for free food. Oh, the quest for free food. So at the same time, looking at this aerial survey of when people get stuck for a drought in one location, and from the ground, it's just the river dried up. Now, it takes a long way to go find the source of it. Did it dry up because there's so many farmers upriver, like site diverting water away from the river, that by the time it gets to a certain point, it's all been like in the new farm that didn't exist before? Is it because the temperature changes and the glaciers don't form anymore? I don't know. Some people are like, well, the solution to utopia is starvation, isn't it? These are the Malthusians that we have overpopulated. And since I'm isolated and can't get real numbers, are we overpopulated or over consumed? Do we just is it true the population's too big, or we just too consume too much and expect too much free? Well, people work. They gotta work hard for my money. That's just subjective. You feel you worked hard, you worked hard. I know guys who work far harder than me, 12 hours a day, 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. The same schedule I had, but I wasn't in that type of environment where you have assembly line or this stuff. No, I'm more of a I go and fix stuff when it breaks. If it breaks, it's not broken. I can't fix it. So that was a job I had. So I get to places and there's a lot of work to do, and I would spend like sometimes more than 12 hours until the job was done. Once the job was done. You are working, nothing's broken. Isn't that a good thing? So the mentality we have of envy, like right now, envy is, oh, to have food, to have money to buy food and nobody else does. And yet, if my name, which it was at one 2015 when I was really I had problems. I was googling my own name. Right? Have you ever googled yourself? See what comes up? I was waiting for these like articles and stuff, like DUIs, hit and runs. I can't really think of. I mean, other than sexual, you can call it a mistake at this point. It's just like a beggar. Got offered a few times. Oh, the sin, right? So mostly it's like trying to catch on like this deranged driver and everything. I haven't driven a vehicle for since I haven't driven a vehicle myself. I've ridden a couple, but I haven't driven a vehicle since like August 7th or 8th of 2023. I think it's been here. You don't think people frame up citizens? You know how desirable the American citizenship idea is? Well, citizen, what is that? It's a government ID. It's a federal government, well, state governments, which we're working with the federal government now. They have a real ID because states kind of were given IDs. To, yeah, it's just Washington, some East Coast thing determining who are allowed to live here in California. And California decide who can live here in California. Well, state capitals. Why the ICE funding? They've been taking going over and getting my laundry time in. It was that day. I was so excited. I thought there was a store, like a shop that opened up that did like that would do alterations. I had two pairs of jeans, of denims, and they have rips. I've worn them to that point. And I'm also extremely like just demotivated and depressed. I walk you to my bedroom. I mean, I slept in my bedroom off about a year. I had an inflatable mattress, and the inflatable mattress sprung a leak, and so it's not an inflatable mattress. I had split time between here and but I was just waiting. I was waiting. I have certain family members who, well, engage in identity theft, and that's a huge criminal thing. However, when people go on a run just because, yeah, just whatever. So when I Googled myself in 2015, I came up with very interesting. I came up on a LinkedIn on a Berkshire Hathaway search. It's like the number as the number three person at Berkshire Hathaway. Isn't that big? I have a theory that I well I lived in New Orleans for almost 2.5 years, October to March. Yeah, my last I got really lucky in a way. Well, I just broken a girl's heart that I left behind, and she's too young. She didn't understand that I wouldn't be allowed to date or marry her. If it wasn't for AOL, I would never even met her. Wouldn't talk to her. Like this the internet relationship access. It's really helped a lot of shut-ins communicate, embarrassed for various reasons. Like when you get such a bold little, it's not even a bully culture. It's something else. It's like it's this pitch of birds, or it's something. Walking on the street and you hear like derogatory like mock things being yelled at, and you know it's directed. It's far away because there was a point, people would be afraid to leave. You better breaking quarantine, yeah, stuff. That type of stuff. Oh my goodness. Product demos. How many people have been doing? They don't have land. You can't get land. So that's and if you got land, if you're like, I want to be a farmer. What do you know about farming? I don't know anything. Some things are like experiential. What I find very interesting. Not watching my grass, and there's so much mixture of weeds and stuff. It's starting to look. Have you ever seen when it comes to America, there's certain places where it prospers and see that pretty green grass? Just that pretty grass, and mine is like, well, technically it's supposed to be being cut. It's like a city code violation. Don't think landlord can afford to have it cut. And like me, I don't have a vehicle. I don't have access to the garage to store a lawnmower. And maybe I could borrow a lawnmower. But my neighbors I do not chat with me. We said hi a few times, but there is that type of like, there's a stress. There's a stress in the community that I came from. No shadows, no shadows. Oh, this is a nice little the cafe that I went to. It's very frustrating. It's very frustrating not having anybody to talk to. Oh, my dad was crazy. Like I'm the age my dad was when he really did he get evicted that year? Because I was 25, my dad's 25 years older than me, And so I went, yeah, that's right, because I was being kicked out of the Rossi thing for, I was supposed to be commissioned an officer, the Naval Reserve Officer Training Corps, and I had issues start coming up. Like halfway through my junior year, things started, well, I would call back home and it'd be every 2 weeks. It was $24 an hour. It started out at $24 an hour to call home. Doesn't seem like a lot of money, huh? You want to pay $24 an hour for a phone call? You know, when I call, you could just all the problems. We knew there's like eviction was uh was a possible. No, he wasn't evicted that year. He was 23. Oh, I celebrated. My dad moved in met a new woman years after my mom died, and she provided a home for him and my brothers because they were losing the house. It was rental. It was constantly, it was embarrassing for me to borrow money. It's like with family, that is one of the things I just like borrowing from family. No, no, family shouldn't have to borrow. You know, it's money for survival. So he moved in, I was like, he has a home. He has a home. I can stop like worrying about it. And it was just for a few weeks. I think it lasted a few months. I was so happy because he was in a new home. He was in a home. He had a wife. He had a wife. They think they got married. Yeah, they got married. And so he married a new wife. He was a widower. They had a place to live. And like 3 months or so, he's like, I'm getting a divorce. Like what? It was bad. Like I didn't live there. I didn't know the tension of the situation. I had a new stepbrother, a stepsister, stepmom. My brothers got like one lived in a garage. And they tried to make it work with too many people, too many young people, and so it was a tenseful. It was a very stressful situation. I wasn't experiencing it directly, but he had a wireless phone, and I'd call up. And he'd be in the bathroom. You could hear screaming. You could absolutely hear the same screaming from the other room. The bathroom's only a brief to get away from these people. A lot of people's reality, huh? It's kind of a density thing. Like how many people you can shove into one living space. See, there are people who do the calculations. And they're like, well, if you put three, four bunk beds in this place, what you should do is put eight bunk beds. If it's spread throughout, you can have 16 people here and charge them each $1,000. See, $16,000 a month. Think about it. Great investment opportunity. I don't know how functional they're going to be because a lot of people can't make more than a lot of people struggle to make $700 a month. So if there are jobs out here that'll pay somebody over $1,000 a month, renting them a bunk bed for $1,000 a month, probably not. Might have more problems than anything else. So you could have like one person. Here's the thing where one person is paying all the rent. My brother in an apartment I was renting for him had at one point, well, like five people five friends living there. Not technically living there, they would just be there. My dad would we went over to drop stuff off, and he was helping out also. It's an embarrassing, untenable situation because those people who were getting help from family, they're not getting help from family. picked up this book. I find it kind of interesting. So it's a book on the history of the Inquisition, and I haven't read it front to back. I read it randomly through sections. So I opened up the first page and it says it really started off with a Pope Innocent something and the First Crusade, taking the Holy Land back. I wonder if that was a refugee from Jerusalem. Or just consequences of migration, following food, before a concept of cities, city states, just a village that just grows to the point where I thought it was like a I don't know. It's their games. They're based on civilization building and modeling. You're gonna talk about anything else? Just like waiting for it to get past a certain hour. I need to do laundry. So the guy who wanted to go have coffee with, go hang out, it's so funny. You know, he texts, I said, where are you gonna go? I'm like, okay, I'm going. Okay. And I'm sitting there, and it's like, oh, I'll be there in a little bit. And it's like, oh, I don't have any socks. Well, if my therapist, if a team of therapists who, well, if you, can you imagine you fired, like you have one client. That was one of the criticisms of both Freud and Carl Jung, is that they'd have rich clients that would just keep coming back to them. And so they had rich people. How's your income? So rich person comes over and they like, okay, you want to talk to me? You sit there and listen to their problems. They give advice or stuff to do. But yeah, that the one client. Without that one client supporting their therapist, a lot of people can't afford to go pay their entire day wage for an hour of talking. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go do my laundry and that haram, the abomination, sinful drinking. What I found is the bartender will talk to me. They'll talk to me and they'll listen to me. And so it's like I get that sense of, oh, I get to talk to someone for less than $150 an hour, which well, for some therapists, things are bad. Things must have gotten really bad. Like I remember I was having a pizza with a couple Mormon LDS missionaries called elders, and this kid, he was a convert. He only converted like a year ago. He didn't grow up in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter Day Saints or anything. Church of Latter Day Saints, Church of Jesus Christ of Latter Day Saints. So I was asking him, you want to jump over the table and attack him, that kind of stuff. Like, what are you doing, boy? Oh, they're just out there getting donos. It's all about getting donos, raising money. No history, no concept of anything that happened with the building or what people are running. Some of them settled down and created a community that's from the East Coast to the West Coast. seems the way most migration has worked. It only seems recently that people from California migrated east. So most of like the English speaking history is about people immigrants on the East Coast then migrating west. Where now we have something where we have people on the West Coast migrating east. Well, the East Coast of the United States, that seems to, well, West Coast, no, you're still in the East, huh? No, well, sun rises in the East, sets in the West, right? Directions. Oh my goodness. Can you imagine this has been like my life? Well, but maybe it's been somebody else's life also for a lot longer. But I still have money to go drink. This is the most affordable thing for entertainment. The video games, it's yeah, you did. I mean, you been good, man. Yeah, yeah. It's just a lot of people find it more enjoyable to be out at the park, playing games, go playing, throwing baseball, shooting hoops at the basketball court, maybe throw a football around, like maybe doing other football. It's physical activity, going out on hikes, going for walks. I tried to do that, but apparently somebody's assigning us zones. Gotta keep them separated. Yeah, that's the most incredible thing about coming back uh, in this day and age. Is somebody really did. People are still doing it. A lot of places it's natural, like the separation between hoods. This is their own little city state, and it's for certain people. See, that's one of the drivers of this tourism mindset. Maybe also for peace, right? Maybe also for peace. But those people go over there. Those people go over there. But those are my well, they don't like you anymore, bro. For what you because what you did. But what I do, you know what you did. That was my first that was the first like real legitimate murder attempt. Hardcore one also. I was leaving a bar, was going to met with guys, they blocked me, and I'm like ready to fight. And I'm like, what? Why? You know why? I'm like, I do. Well, I had been having like really psychotic breaks because I wanted to go to Christmas with my family. And apparently, when my cousin let me know that I got replaced by a black man, or maybe a brown man, I don't know, but somebody replaced me. Maybe the white man. It makes sense. It's like the really nice peace and love white man. Like, man, he's a violent murderer. You know what he did over there for money? He killed all the women and children for money, man. Yo, you don't want that. You're my friend. So he traveled, he's killed family all over the world. These people, they come here and tell you about what he's been doing. This is for peace and love. So I was like that. That's why I ran to in like in 2021, like a struggle session. I wanted to see how people were doing. My family wanted to talk about race relations, and I was looking around our house. I was looking around like, well, the only brown person of color is my cousin, is our cousin Jasmine, and she's not here because something's. Well, I talked to her. We were talking terms. She was really upset at her aunt. Her aunt punched. Well, our aunt punched me and put me in a psych ward 6 years prior to that. Yeah, there's just something really abusive in our family. So anyway, when the women are punching the children and stuff, because that's what my it's exhaustion, single motherdom. So there was stuff going. She was not. She had a falling out with our aunt. I wonder how many other people would just like to talk to our aunt. Well, over there, the men folk have been dying younger and younger and younger. My mom's father died of alcoholism apparently, like the year after I was born. He made it into his, I don't know. They just all seem when you're young. So, so anyway, he died. My aunts, my cousins who are like almost a generation older than me, maybe like 20, could be 15 and 20 years older. So not that old, not that big an age difference. So, like one of her sons was drinking himself to death. He was like wheelchair bound. My uncle, my mother's older brother, he died of a heart attack associated with lung cancer when he was 57 years old. It seemed old. He was like 57. He was gonna get save his business. He owned his own business, and things weren't. There was recessions, so he was gonna get back into it. But then he died of a heart attack at 57. Then my cousin was 47. He was about five, no older than that. Maybe 10, maybe he was 10, he was 7. Trying to get how much older the timelines are with us. Trying to get a family tree. However, if the family is turned into a giant criminal organization, then that would be probably explain why. Well, my dad left Salt Lake because there was too much cocaine abuse. Now he said my mom was an accountant, and he said there was just too. They were just the head of they were just doing too cocaine. I figure if they're doing it, they must have a supply of it. Well, anyway, that's the whole like utility of the drug war, trying to keep other people from making their own drugs. It's like sorcery, and now everything depends on that sale and distribution network, artificially inflated for. Well, let me go. Alcohol's bad too. Unfortunately, for certain people, it's legal to do. So I'm gonna go legally. I'm gonna go be legally be a loser in public. Not the lifestyle I wanted to live. But 10 years, you're 40 years old. 40 years old, no family. I was almost that insane. I was almost ready to start a family at 40 with like no actual uh, stable job or anything. Just that desire, and I've been cured of that. I have families. I have families who need a lot of help. They just won't talk to Uncle Kevin because of the thing I did. You know what it is, right? Oh my goodness, mic drop. I've thought about it. Like my passport expired. My passport expired a few days ago, and but 2 months ago I thought about going to get a new one, but I don't want a passport looking like this. It's like I want the clean shaven passport. The haircut's easier. You know, if I change my hairstyle and it shows like here's a bearded person and I'm like a shaved and everything, I think there's problems. This is just it's kind of unmanageable. It gets caught in my food, and you say you're eating the hair. At the same time, to actually show that there's a difference between me and that streamer Destiny, we might know each other from like offline experiences. For whatever reason, he's Destiny. I think it has to do with the homosexual sex videotapes we made. Oh, you didn't know about Kurt? Probably. I mean, it was some sort of reading the suicide pacts and stuff. My brother told me about some people he met on the streets of LA. They were Kurt's friends also. They covered his stores, methamphetamine addict. And he said that one of the guys told my brother they had a suicide pact with him. Oh, not only am I known for screaming N-word, there's the F word also, which isn't really meant to be. Why they call that? It's called the B word and other things too. For me, it's the trauma isn't that deep. There's a lot of dudes who are detransing, and a lot of former gay men that are caught with like wives and kids and stuff. Well, psychopaths have their reasons. Even psychopaths have reasons. Like people give these choices. You choose two. Well, if they ask, one of the things that helped me get over like that scene with Theo and Greyjoy. When he's like when Ramsey when that scene looking dude has him like down his little cross and stuff, and he's a little tortured. He wasn't really doing anything that bad to him then. And he let him go. He let him off, these women, well, these girls come in, they take him off, and they put him in bed. They start crawling, and Theon thinks he's gonna have sex. Theon thinks he's gonna have this with these two hot girls, and all of a sudden you see little Destiny's putting his head out of their thing. He's like, oh, before I had my leg broken, was it Dunsmere? Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I to be a slow runner. I was actually getting in shape and pick. There some times when I was like, how am I running so fast? But now I just hobble along. It's like the well, whatever game we're playing. If you're playing for Mel, I don't know them. I don't know most of these streamers. See, I come from a place. Well, some people have been online hacking a lot longer. Some people have been hacking a lot longer. I had a Commodore 64. However, I didn't have like the career arc of computer science. I didn't know about it. I didn't know all the stuff that was going on. So my uncle, my grandmother, they sat there, my grandmother, my uncles, they sat down and they like were talking about what I was doing after high school there's like the Navy and they showed like the numbers. And so I decided like to go do that because I couldn't afford college. It's heartbreaking. My dad wanted me to stay at our house and I could take a bus to like CSUS and stuff, but I didn't know how to apply to college. I got like a $500 scholarship to some like East Coast liberal arts school, which looked like it would have been fun. But I would have been like taking out like loans and stuff. Then there's the R word. It has a technical meaning. It's just like slower and anyway, it's hurtful. I guess somebody with the R words getting yelled at all the time. They just eventually snap. They're reading that Robert Frost poem earlier about Pan leaving the seclusion of his woods, looking around and seeing no houses or smoke, throwing down his pipes. And I think his Pan has that thing. He leads the children off into the woods, away from the villages. He steals children and stuff like that. So anyway, it's the Pied Piper. But anyway, Pan throws it comes out and looks around, and, and there are no houses, no smoke, and he puts his pan down. His flute because it's too noisy. He doesn't need the music. The music is the music of nature. Oh, it is. Oh, I need to go do laundry. All right, take care. Uh, Thank you for helping me be productive and do like diary streaming or whatever this is. I don't know. Be for kindness. Like you actually hate someone so much just based on their appearance. They're probably stories. Oh, they're for people who lived experiences with me that probably don't have really good experiences. However, I'd like to know which ones those are. Probably heartbroken women, heartbroken girls. Not because I'm like the sexiest man or anything, but I grew up shallow. And sometimes you break hearts and not even know it. You ever had that secret crush? You ever been in love with someone secretly? All right, adios.